Alright, this is what this class is all about. Types of heat transfer. How we transfer heat to food. There are two basic ways to transfer heat to food. Conductive and convective. All cooking processes are either conductive or convective. Conductive heat is direct source heat. Direct source heat applied like in saute. Directly the heat to the bottom of the pan, from the inside of the pan to the protein product. Conductive cooking is like saute. Conductive cooking, broil. Direct source heat from the top, broiling, or in the salamander. Broiling. Conductive heat, direct source heat, grilling from the bottom. Heat applied directly to the item. Saute, broil, grilling, all direct source, conductive cooking processes. Other processes are convective. This is when the heat is applied indirectly to the item. So convective cooking is roasting, because heat is imparted to the item through hot air. The heat doesn't touch the item directly. In an oven, it's a hot box, right? The hot box heats, the heat rises, cools, falls, rises, cools, falls. It begins this convective process. Whether you got a fan in the back of your oven or not, whether you have a convection oven or not, it's still a convective cooking process because the heat is applied indirectly to the food through air. Convective cooking processes. Steaming. Steaming is a convective cooking process because the heat is applied to the food indirectly through steam. Support the item above simmering liquid, the steam cooks the food above it. It's not in direct contact with the food, but it's a convective process because it contacts it indirectly. Then we have boil, simmer, and poach that we're going to learn about. Big difference between boil, simmer, and poach, but they're convective cooking processes because the heat is applied to the food indirectly through moisture. So, go ahead.
Rotisserie as well, isn't it?
Rotisserie could be conductive because you've got the thing spinning and the direct source heat behind it. Absolutely. Rotisserie. Hopefully I spelled that right. Good example of conductive heat because it's applied directly to it. Can we think of another convective cooking process? Smoking. Very good. Because heat is applied to the food through the smoke, through the heated air, the dry air. It's indirect. So this is the first concept to get in this class, our principles of mastering meals, that all cooking processes are either conductive or convective. The heat is applied directly or the heat is applied indirectly. And this is going to help you, trust me, as we go forward, when we say we're going to saute something, just knowing that it's a conductive cooking method, that you're supposed to be applying the heat directly to the item, not indirectly, that's going to help you with the amount of fat that you put in the pan, to remember that. Roasting, remember that roasting is a dry, convective cooking method. It's going to help you remember that if we roast potatoes or something, they need to be all dried. If you put a whole bunch of wet potatoes in the oven, what do you get? You get steamed potatoes, not roasted potatoes. You've changed it from a dry process to a moist process. When people take a baked potato and wrap it in tin foil and then put it in the oven, is this dry or moist? You would think that it's roasting, it's moist, but because it's wrapped in the tin foil, it actually steams in its own moisture. So a baked potato wrapped in tin foil is a steamed potato. It's not a baked potato. So this one underlying principle on day one, the difference between conductive and convective cooking, is extremely important. Not only will it show up on question after question after question on tests and things like that, it helps you focus your mind into what the end result is going to be when we cook something. Dry conductive, dry convective, moist conductive. Every cooking process falls into one or the other.